In the previous video, we made a pretty simple for loop using the JavaScript console in Google Chrome, which I've already opened here. If you forgot where that is, you can find it up here in View, Developer, JavaScript console. So this is what we had last time. So you can see our code here. If I execute this, there you go. So we've got 5 little faces there. So just to explain what we're looking at, this first line, the console.log, posts a string, a series of letters or characters in the console log, which we see here. We have a variable that we've created called drawFace, which is a function, and we have told it that we are going to include a variable with that, and that variable is going to pass through into this for loop, and it passes through right here where we refer to it. So in this for loop we have for, we have a variable of I which starts as 0, and then we tell it that whenever I is less than the variable how much, to then add to I. So that's what the I++ means. It means to add to I. So I keeps moving up until I is greater than how much. So when we run this, it's going to loop this for loop however many times it needs to until I equals how much, until it's no longer less than how much. In the for loop, all we have is document write, and we have a little face here with a BR tag in HTML, which is what you see here. Let's zoom in a little on that so you can actually see it better. There we go. Just being a little difficult. What if we didn't want just a little happy face? What if we wanted more faces? Inside of this loop, we could put another face. We put another line here inside of these curly braces, because these curly braces are telling it what to run each time it's running this for loop. If we change this to maybe, now when we run it, now it alternates. But what if we didn't want it to alternate? What if we wanted to show 5 of one and then 5 of the other? That's a little bit more challenging, but it can be done. Go ahead and refresh that just to go back to normal. Didn't mean to get rid of that, all that. That's okay. So I'm going to retype this really fast, and I will speed through it so you don't have to watch it in real time. Okay, that looks good to me. Let's go ahead and test it. Command-C to copy. Let's run this. And I forgot a part. I forgot to tell it to actually run it. There we go. So refresh, Command-V, perfect. So if I don't want it to alternate, what I can do is I can introduce conditionals, if statements. If one thing, do this. If not, do something else. Let's say that we want it to only do the happy faces if there are less than 5. And let's say that if there are less than 9, we want a different face. And then anything over than that, we have one more face. So we actually have 3 different conditions. So we're going to put this at 10. So we're going to need 3 different document writes. So making sure to press Shift Enter so I don't accidentally run the code, because I've already done that a few times. And we're going to change this to kind of a crazy face. Yeah, so some crazy faces there. Alright, so if I run this right now, it's just going to run these in a alternating pattern. So I'm going to Command-C, and I'm just going to run it so you can see. So there you go, an alternating pattern, not exactly what I want. So let's refresh, Command-V, and let's insert these conditionals. So this one is going to be if, and in parentheses, we're going to say I is less than 5. I think that's what I said. Open curly brace, close curly brace. So we have I running here, and I is going to keep increasing every time this loop runs until it hits this number, the number of how much, which is the same number that we put into draw face. So it's going to use this face 5 times. Now for the next one, another if statement, in parentheses, I think I said less than 9, I think. So 9, open curly brace, so it's going to run this, it's going to run whatever's inside the curly braces, so close curly brace. And then finally, the last one. And this is actually going to be else, because it's going to do this if the first two aren't met, if it's something outside of the first two, which is essentially greater than 9. So else, in curly braces, run that. And just for fun, console.log over 9,000. That's right. Alright, everything looks good. So let's go ahead and run it. I added some extra white space here, and I didn't need to, but I did that to try to make it easier to see what's going on. So this curly brace closes that one. This curly brace closes that one. This curly brace closes that one. This one here is the one that opens this for loop there. And this last curly brace is the one right there, which is making all of this in here a function, which is why nothing happens until I actually tell it to do this, because right now it's just defined all of this as a function, and it won't run until I tell it to. So let's see what happens. There we go. Almost. What did I do wrong? I see what I did wrong. So it's almost working, but the reason why it's a little bit different than I meant it to do is because when I is 0, it's meeting both of these conditions, so it drew both. And it's going to keep drawing both until I equals 5, and then it only shows these, and then it only shows that one afterwards at 10. And you can see the over 9,000 worked. So if I want to fix that, let's try refreshing. And we're going to do ampersand ampersand, and I is greater than 4. Command C, just in case it messes up. And not really what I expected. That's okay. So let's do I is greater than 4, ampersand ampersand, I less than 9. And we'll do one more. And this will be I is greater than 8, but less than 10. And we'll just say else do nothing. Let's see if that works. There we go. So a little messy, but we found a bug and we found a way to fix it, and it works. So that's it for this video. If you found it useful, then please give me a thumbs up. Thanks. Bye.